Hey friends, how are you? Happy February. Hope you're having a better February than we are having here in Vermont. It is absolutely just the weirdest weather, whatever. Wanted to come in. It's been good knitting weather, so wanted to come in and show you some finished objects. The Anthe Shawl coming up, which was such an amazing knit. I mean, I love Moonstruck knits. Love Natasha Hornsby. She's got some amazing patterns. But first I wanted to share with you this quick little knit that I did from Green Mountain Spinnery. It's a little hard to see on here, but there is, you could see this eyelet lace chart. This is the Sap Run Vest, knit in Cotton Comfort, which is their organic cotton wool blend. Really beautiful kind of tweedy blue. And it's just a simple vest with some short row shoulders. And I love it. Really, really cute. And like I said, you can't really see it here with this shirt, but it has this really pretty kind of eyelet, cascading eyelet down the center of the vest. Really, really sweet. Really, really enjoyed knitting it. I did it in I think I knit that probably in 3 days. I'm so excited that we're going to be coming up soon on March 3rd. We're going to go and take a visit to Green Mountain Spinnery. We're going to tour their workshop. We're going to see their yarns. We're going to see how they do their dyeing and spinning. Green Mountain Spinnery is the oldest, or one of the oldest, yarn producers here in the Green Mountain State. Most of their yarns are produced minimally with very little chemicals, all from Vermont raised sheep. And they're a collective, they're a worker collective, meaning that employees actually have the ability to kind of buy into the company after a certain amount of time, and they share in the profits. So I'm really interested to hear about how that all works. I'm really interested to see their dyeing, all their warehouse, their goods. I've been to their shop, and it's just so, I love it. They have gorgeous yarns, everything from worsted to, cotton and wool, and these gorgeous angoras, these really, really soft cashmeres, really, really beautiful yarns, which we're going to get a deep dive. And I'm also going to be interviewing one of their pattern designers. So we'll be talking to I'm not sure who that's going to be, but it's going to be one of their top pattern designers, and we'll get to see a tour of their plant and hear more about Green Mountain Spinnery and how patrons of the show and subscribers can get a discount in their yarns. So that's really exciting. So I'm wearing my Sap Run Vest, which was a great pattern put out by them, and really easy to follow, beautifully done, and I used their yarns, so super excited about that. What else is going on? Working, going to school, teaching at the school. We still have our son at home who's in high school, so we're, doing all the stuff that we do to take care of him. And he fractured his elbow. Our son Max, he fractured his elbow snowboarding, so he was a little bit out of commission for a couple of weeks. And that was, for me, that's the first injury that I've dealt with. For we have a daughter in college in New York, and not much has happened in terms of injuries, thank God. And so in 1 month, my son had stitches in his chin and then fractured his elbow. So that was a lot of excitement, a lot of trips to the emergency room. But I guess that's part of it. What I hear is that that's part of having a 14-year-old boy. So, but I'm looking forward to him getting back out and maybe doing a little bit of snowboarding and taking it easy, but healing that up. Other than that, it's been kind of really quiet, really quiet. We have, like I said, the weather is a big deal. We're thinking about the garden. We're planning our garden for next for the next spring and summer. And here's what we decided to do. Last year we did cabbage, squash, we did potatoes, we did lettuce, we did carrots, we did a bunch of different crops. And we decided at the end of the summer, like, you know, what we really eat and what we really enjoy is we love lettuce, we love tomato, we love cucumbers, we loved having potatoes. We had trouble with our cabbage, you know, and we're gonna do more of what we love, right? We're gonna be growing more of what we love, and we're gonna eliminate the rest of it. So we're gonna have now, instead of just one tomato, we have 12, I have like 35 foot maybe, where I have squares of like 12 by 12 beds. We're gonna have double the amount of lettuce, double the amount of tomatoes, and we're gonna do double the amount of potatoes. I'm gonna do one box of cucumbers, which we love cucumbers. I could do a lot of pickling, and lots and lots of flowers this year. We're gonna paint the house, and we're going to put up a small fence in the front, like a low fence, just to kind of give a little structural, and we're gonna put wildflowers, and I'm gonna grow lots and lots of flowers. I'm really excited about flowers this year, because I just think that, you know, I love vegetables, and I love my vegetables, don't get me wrong, I love them and I will never give them up, but just the idea of having more flowers, I really got into it at the end of the summer last year. I was just filling these giant, I have a giant vase in the living room. I was just doing all these beautiful arrangements of wildflowers, and oh, and we have blueberries. We planted blueberries, and I have lots of hydrangeas, and of course my echinacea, which I grow in the kitchen garden close to the house. So, you know, starting to think about spring, starting to think about, we are going to be doing some bokashi composting. We're going to increase our composting. You know, what we normally, we have our we have two big bins in the back where we transfer one to the next, and then we have like the one that's always cooking, so to speak, and then we have the transferred compost in the other. And this year we're going to add to the mix bokashi. I've been doing some research on that, and bokashi is basically, it's an indoor, you start the compost. It's kind of like you ferment the compost before moving it out to the actual compost bin outdoors. And it produces something called bokashi tea, which is a highly nutrient fertilizer, completely organic, comes from your food waste. You can put everything in the bokashi composter, pretty much. You could put everything from, you know, eggshells to, you know, seafood shells. You can put like mussel shells, I've heard, I don't know. And then you kind of sprinkle these bokashi fermented grains on top. And what they do is they provide beneficial bacteria, just a lot like fermenting vegetables and other, you know, lacto-fermenting does. It provides the good bacteria. It helps to kind of have like a good balance, and you create a pickled product. You can create a fermented product. And so what it sounds like is it breaks down the food waste, so that and it creates this liquid that is highly nutritious and can be used to grow beautiful gardens. Apparently it makes a huge difference in people's gardens and indoor plants. So we'll be using it here inside the house and outside the house. And it's an indoor, you have a bin, and you kind of keep the compost inside, and once a day you empty your food waste, put it in the outside, or no, you open it only once a day. You collect your food waste and then add it to the compost, because it's an anaerobic composting method, or a fermentation. It uses anaerobic fermentation. And so you're only opening it once a day, and it keeps the house, it's completely odorless, which is really, you know, that's a big thing. When people are composting indoors, they often, you know, worry about the odor of the food. Completely odorless. And then once a week you bring that, or every 14 days, you bring that outside to your major compost bin, and then you drain off the liquid, and you have the liquid stored somewhere or used on your indoor plants. And I'm going to be just pouring it over, you know, using it in my I'm going to spray bottle over the beds. I'll be doing I'll do a specific show just on, or a specific episode just on bokashi composting. But we're really excited about that. We're thinking about you know, planning our garden, thinking about the summer. So we're probably just going to lay low this summer and do stuff for the house. We're going to, you know, we moved up here last year. Last year was all about the garden and planning the garden and getting that going. And we had a great year last year with that. And then this winter has been about knitting and kind of fixing up the house inside. And then come spring, we're going to paint the outside. And I think we're going to do like one of these kind of moody, dark colors. We have a very small kind of old 1929, I guess it's a colonial style home. And we were going to go with just the white, classic white with black shutters. And then I've kind of just been watching some really beautiful, like looking at some different podcasts from people who painted their homes like a darker gray color. And I think we're going to do something like that with maybe like a, you know, colorful front door with some pretty shutters. I'm not sure which will be the contrasting colors. So planning the painting of the house, and then we're going to do some low, like I said, some low corner, you know, just kind of corner structural little low fences to do some as a structure for flowers. And yeah, really excited for the warm weather this year, and love all this planning and love to kind of think about this kind of stuff. Also, you know, doing my reading, doing my chanting. I'm going to be doing a 5-week course with Krishna Das coming up, starting March, I think that starts March 3rd or March 5th, something like that. I have to look. It's all about, you know, deepening your relationship to yourself and to your spiritual center, and whether you have someone that you view outside of yourself as a way of connecting with your inner self. Some people have Jesus, some people have Buddha, some people have gurus. I personally, you know, have a guru. It's going to be about focusing on that and deepening that relationship and how you cultivate that in your everyday life. So I'm really excited about that. And that'll be a 5-week course. And then we'll just, you know, that'll bring me into April, and we'll be doing a little bit of traveling to New York and doing some different things. And as always, working, you know. But okay, so that's what's going on personally in the house and in the garden and with my latest finished object. But I want to show you the Anthe Shawl. The Anthe Shawl was just gorgeous, really, really amazing. So I knit it in, as I've shared with you before, I knit it in Shetland Spindrift. Really, really beautiful yarn to work with. Not, of course, not the first time that I've worked with this. Here it is. Here is the Anthe Shawl. It is, oh my God, it's really big, but which is what you want, you know, in a shawl. Really warm, really, I wore this out. I went out to kind of like a PTA kind of thing, and I wore this out, and everybody just gave me so many compliments on it. It's just really gorgeous. I mean, just really warm, really elegant. Like, talk about elegant knits. Talk about something that really is an eye-catching item that's just elegant and lovely to wear. You can wear this to work. It was inexpensive. I mean, when I tell you that it was under $100 for me to make this, and what people like, you know, the amount of compliments you get on it, it did take a long time. And it uses some varying techniques, new techniques to me. I had not done a mosaic knitting before. I had not done that. So the mosaic knitting I had to rip back a little bit to make sure that it was, you know, correct, because I didn't want to have mistakes. This is something that I really didn't want to have any mistakes on. And the mosaic knitting, I do a little tutorial on it. The mosaic knitting is an amazing technique. It's really actually quite simple once you kind of master it. But it just, you know, it's basically slips. You're only working with one color per row, and you slip the stitches that you're not working with, and you just have to kind of realize, like, am I on the right side or the wrong side? And once you get that down, it's like absolutely a piece of cake, and it really just produces this eye-catching, you know, like, people are like, how did you do that? You know, what went on there? Like, it's just really intricate and looks a lot more complicated than it really was, and just a really beautiful, and the Shetland really shows off the stiff definition. There's an eyelet bind off on this. I mean, I love this. This is so gorgeous. This is something that I will keep forever, hand down, you know, just like a really beautiful, treasured knit. And I'm eyeing her, you know, I'm eyeing Moonstruck Knits sweaters or something else, you know. It's just really opened my eyes and my mind and my heart to some amazing different kinds of knitting. So I might do another shawl coming up, but it's so warm. Like right now I'm just putting this on. It's just so like perfect for damp weather. So I just love it, love it, love it, love it. Love to hear if you've done any of Moonstruck Knits, any of her patterns. Like what are your thoughts on her? And Natasha Hornsby, she's just, you know, she does some really beautiful, beautiful patterns. So yeah, so that's going to be it for today. Be sure to stay tuned for next week's podcast on coming up at Green Mountain Spinnery. I'm interviewing right now for the following podcast. I'm really excited about, you know, Creative Vermont and what we're going to be doing with that. That's the Green Mountain Spinnery will be the first interview in that series, in that segment. And you know, hope you're staying well, and thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing, amazing day. Bye.